On August 8th, 2023, the complainant receives a text message from the defendant that he knew where she lived and has homies that live 2 doors down who are watching her. Now, it also states that the defendant has video recorded the complainant's house and passes by, ensuring that she knows he is here.
Psycho talk.
Okay, what's the defendant's name?
Ryan Latino.
I don't have any Robert, but you know.
Ryan.
Did you just hand it to them?
I don't know if I did or not.
I think that's the file you just gave her.
Sir Rick, so probably.
Oh, I just gave it to her. Yeah. I don't even, let me pull it. Okay, it's 23 CR 1843. You were Ryan Latino.
Yes, sir.
You were charged here with stalking. And go ahead.
Your Honor, I filed a writ. The bond is set at $100,000, which we're alleging is excessive, and we're asking for a bond reduction. That's for the reasons enumerated in the writ. And I'm prepared to elicit some testimony.
Go ahead.
From the defendant's.
Go ahead.
Sharice Connolly. Where do you want her to be positioned? Your
That's
Honor?
right. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. Yes, go ahead.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Would you identify yourself by stating your full name and spelling your last name?
Sharice Noel Conley, Conley.
Ms. Connolly, how are you related to Ryan Latino?
Small.
In connection with this writ hearing today, I asked you to get some information from different bondsmen. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And did you do that?
Yes, sir. I did.
And which bondsmen did you contact?
Allied, Bell America, Professional Bell Bonds, and Outrage.
So actually you spoke with 4 different bonding companies, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are all of those licensed to do business in Jefferson County?
Yes, sir.
And did you make the inquiry of the first bonding company, which would be Allied, I believe, as far as what the financing and charges would be for a $100,000 bond?
Yes, sir.
And what did they tell you regarding what their bonding fee and financing options would be for a $100,000 bond?
$10,000. We would have to put down $3,000 and pay $500 to $1,000 per month with 2 co-signers.
And would there be specific requirements regarding who would be acceptable co-signers as far as financial security?
Yes, that would be my husband
And yourself?
and myself.
And both you and your husband were acceptable co-signers to them?
Yes.
What about a bond in the amount of $50,000?
For Alan.
Yes, ma'am. These are all for, I will start with Alan.
$5,000. They said per month would depend on the co-signer and the job that they have.
Okay. And then did you also make inquiry for a $10,000
A $10,000.
bond?
Yes, sir.
And what they
It's the
advise you?
same per month, depending on the co-signer.
And what would be the down payment on the $10,000?
They didn't tell me that. They just were telling me the per month for the $1,000.
For the $1,000. And then the next one you contacted was Bail America, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what did they advise you regarding their requirements for $100,000?
$2,500 with $200 per month for 2 co-signers.
So they were, what was the total fee for a $100,000?
think it was $2,500. I didn't write that down. Oh, I'm sorry, $10,000.
10% of the total bond.
That is correct.
So they would charge you $2,500 down and a total fee of $10,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then the monthly payments would be what?
$200 per month with 2 co-signers.
And did you make an inquiry regarding a $50,000?
I did 5,000 for 150 per month with 2 co-signers.
What was the down payment for 5,000? 5,000 is the total fee. What was the down
Correct.
payment?
She didn't tell me.
And then as far as the $10,000, what was the total fee?
About $1,000 with $100 per month. She didn't tell me a down payment.
And then professional bail bonds, what was their total fee for $100,000?
The total fee was $10,000 with $3,600 down, $300 to $400 per month.
And what about co-signers?
She didn't say co-signers.
And then what about a $50,000 bond from professional?
$1,800 down,
For a total, what's the total fee?
5,000.
Of which they needed $1,800
$1,800 down.
and per month, what would the financing be?
$300 to $400 per month with $150 to $200 biweekly.
All right, and then it's finally with professional with a $10,000 bond, what was the total fee?
$300
The
down,
total fee,
$1,000.
and what was the down payment for?
$300 down,
And
and then pay out the rest
All right.
either biweekly or per month.
then the last company was Al Reed Bail Bonds, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what was their total fee on the $100,000 bond?
$3,000
No, the
down.
total fee.
$10,015.
And then what-
$3,000 down.
3,000 is a down payment, and then how much would the financing be on the balance?
They could not tell me that.
Okay.
It's based on the cosigner and the job.
I got you. And they require co-signers as well, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
How many? One or two, do you know?
2,
And were you and your husband both acceptable co-signers to them, or did you ask?
yes.
What about a $50,000 bond with Al Reed?
$5,015 with $1,500 down.
And again, the monthly payments would be contingent upon the co-sign.
Correct.
And then finally with Al Reed, what was the total fee for it?
$1,015 with $275 down.
Now, obviously, Mr. Latino is responsible for his bond and payment of the bond fees.
That
Are
is
you
correct.
familiar with his financial circumstances?
Yes.
What are they?
He was doing work from home. And that's,
Okay, and he no longer has that job since he's been incarcerated, is
that
that
is
right?
correct.
Does he have any savings?
Yes.
How much are in his savings, do you know?
Maybe $800 to $1,000.
Okay. Does he, any other assets, liquid assets, money?
Yes.
What are
Yes, he
those?
does have assets. He has equipment that he could sell.
What kind of equipment?
Trailer, a side-by-side, a 4-wheeler.
Okay, how much do you think the total could be raised?
There's no way to get one of those guys.
$2,500 to $3,500.
What would be the amount of time that would be necessary to try to get those things? How much time would that take, do you know? In order to raise-
A month, maybe less.
Any other real estate, property, anything like that? Any other vehicles, stocks and bonds?
No, sir.
So basically, he has a trailer, 4-wheeler, and around $800 to $1,000.
And a side-by-side. Yes.
What is a side by side?
It's, that thing that you ride in on off-road.
Okay, I'll
Oh,
ask.
and a motorcycle. I'm sorry.
What's the motorcycle?
I don't know the model. I don't know.
Does he have clear title to all those
Yes,
things? or-
yes, he does.
or-
Yes, sir, he does.
Do you know if he's trying, obviously he's still in jail, so he hasn't been able to facilitate payment of a $100,000 bond, is that
That
right?
is correct.
And you made efforts to do that, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And obviously you and your husband aren't responsible for that, that's Mr. Latino.
That is correct.
As far as his ties to the community, where would he live if he were on bond? And out of
Well, he
jail?
has his own house.
Where is that located?
It's in Hardin County.
What's the address?
I think it's 9025 Dogwood,
And what's that,
Lumberton.
Lumberton, all right. And he would be residing there by himself?
Yes.
And as far as, his background in the community, how long has he lived at that address, or do you know?
He has lived at that address, for 4 years,
And how long after, I mean, how long has he been in the Southeast Texas area, Jefferson County, Hart?
all of his life.
Whole life.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't that ties to other parts of the state or
No,
other
sir.
states?
No, sir.
So you agree he has substantial ties to the community, is that right?
Very much so.
Did you ask about what the cost of a GPS monitoring device would be in addition to the bonding fees? Should the court impose that with the bonding fees?
I did. I think they said there was a price to get it, but then it was like $220 a month.
So in addition to, if the court were to impose a GPS device as a condition of bond, there would be an additional $220 a month, but in addition to whatever the bonding bill was, the bonding
Yes.
payments would be, is that
Yes.
right? If the court were to see fit to release me and make a no contact order with the alleged victim in the case, is it your opinion that Mr. Latina would follow that order?
Yes, sir.
And additionally, with the
Absolutely.
imposition of a GPS monitoring device to be monitored, that would
Yes,
also,
absolutely.
but also communications, online communications, telephone, those types of stuff, any contact at all. Is your opinion he would follow that order?
Yes, sir.
Password, Sean.
Ma'am, were you aware that your son got into a fight in jail this weekend with another inmate?
Yes.
What did you know? What do you know about him?
I heard that he was trying to fight my son and my son put him in a headlock as to not fight him, just defend himself.
So apparently that's something that he told you,
Yes,
but that's an incident that occurred this weekend right before he appears in court, correct?
yes.
Are you also aware that he had another jail incident on March 21st? It's only been in there for just, what,
35 days,
35 days?
36 days.
Are you aware of that incident?
Possibly. I mean, we talk about a lot. I only recall this last one.
Where a nurse alleged that he was being rude and mistreating her?
No, sir, I don't know.
Never heard anything about that.
Yes.
Before I told you about that, would you have expected that conduct out of your son?
No, sir.
Certainly the stalking charges don't fit within the conduct you're aware of either, is it?
I am aware of the situation.
I meant you wouldn't expect him to actually stalk somebody.
No, sir.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So when you made the representation to the court that he would abide by terms,
Absolutely.
that's what you would have thought before the stalking charges came up
Yes.
as well. So how much money today does the family have to try to help him post a bond?
Again, Your Honor, object, it's not the family's responsibility. I believe under the law, it's the defendants. They're not required to. And as far as the consideration, it's not the family's financial.
I'll rephrase the question. Has there been
What possible assets he may have?
If he has.
And
yes,
if
Your
the
Honor.
family is willing to help him, that would be an asset that he could possibly use, but go ahead.
So what's the amount that's been raised to try to get him out of jail?
Well, if the bond was dropped to 5,000, we'd be way better off to be able to help. Even 10,000.
My question was, what amount has been raised what amount do y'all have today to post for a bond?
I mean, we haven't discussed that. My
But
husband-
there's no dollar amount that y'all have.
Not at this moment.
Okay.
But we are willing to help.
Understand. That's what,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, what else do you have? You can be excused, ma'am. Thank you. What else did add?
I really don't want to call him as a witness, Your Honor. I think that it's sufficient from what his mother, or elicited from his mother for the court to look at his conditions.
Right.
And then, of course, I mean, I guess I can just like briefly call him as a witness then. Frazier.
I think, have you been sworn in already? Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You heard your mother testify about your banking account, savings account, checking account. How much what's access to you? As far as money in a bank or something that you can access?
800 to 1,000.
Which bank is it in your credit union?
It's actually a life insurance policy.
Oh, okay. So you don't have money on deposit anywhere?
It may be in my bank. I'm not sure. I've been in jail. And then I also have the motorcycle side by side, the four-wheeler, motorway. Some other things I could probably sell to come up with another 500 to 1,000.
Well, would you have to be out of jail to facilitate the sale of those items without a power of attorney?
Absolutely.
You have any real estate, rent houses, real property, this kind of things?
That's what I get.
So I guess you have a cash value in your life insurance policy, is that what you said?
Yes.
What is the cash, I guess, cash value of that?
It could be higher now, but when I checked it, it was about 850.
$850?
Yes.
And that's the 850 you're referring to then?
Yes.
All right. So you don't actually have $800 or $1,000 on deposit in a financial institution?
No, I was in the process of cashing that out before I got arrested.
Should the court release you on bond? Your mother indicated you resided in Hardin County, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You own that house or do you rent there? What's the situation?
I rent it. Rent is paid.
Okay. Would you make all of your court appearances, show up to court?
Absolutely. No question.
And if the court orders a no contact with the alleged victim in the case, you abide by that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And again, if the court orders that you install and maintain a GPS device, you would do that?
That's not a problem. Yes, sir.
Ask witness.
Didn't Judge Derun order that you have home confinement and a GPS monitor?
Brandon, if you could be clear.
The judge that arraigned you when you set the
Yes, sir.
question is, when you were set the $100,000 bond, did it include the conditions of home confinement?
Yes, sir.
Did it also include the conditions of a GPS monitor?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what efforts have you made to raise money towards the bond as it is currently set?
I've been in jail, so I didn't actually find out about a lot of this till the end of February.
Right. So you currently today, you haven't done anything to try to sell off those assets or find out how much money you've got in your bank account, correct?
Yes and no. I put a few things online, but I didn't get the chance to really go anywhere with it.
So you really haven't had the opportunity to try to put together funds to try to make the current bond amount. I made the representation to the court through my questioning of your mom. She had 2 different jail incidents. Is it true that on April 13th, that would be Saturday, that you were involved in a physical fight with an inmate by the name of William Woodley?
Yes, sir.
And that all occurred knowing that you were coming to court. You knew you were coming to court, right?
29th, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to fight.
But it happened.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, you also had an incident soon after you came into custody where a nurse alleged that you treated her improperly.
That was actually a male nurse, sir.
I'm sorry. A nurse alleged you treated them improperly. That's the accusation, correct?
That is the accusation.
Has there been a finding by anybody on that? Meaning, once the issue has been done, has there been a finding by a court or anything there at the administrative level?
I asked for them to check the camera systems. No, sir. They didn't want to do that.
Right. Did you receive disciplinary action?
3 days restrictions.
So the answer is yes. You were
Yes,
disciplined for that conduct.
Sir.
No further questions of this
Didn't
witness,
sign the
Judge.
form.
What
I didn't actually sign that form.
was the 3-day restrictions for the incident with the nurse or for the incident with the other inmate?
No, it was for the incident with the nurse, the male nurse.
Was that when you were going through intake or when was that?
No, it was about 1 a.m. I was having pain and they told me they refused to see me for the pain. And I just quit talking. And then next thing you know, I'm being rid of them.
Okay.
Say it again. Next thing you know, what?
Next thing you know, he called the jailers to come in. They didn't hear our conversation, but the write-up alleges I was yelling. And next thing you know, they're writing me up because I wouldn't talk because I didn't know what to say. I don't disrespect them.
Very good.
Disrespected. And I guess there's no incident report that can be tendered.
I can if you want, if you're not going to object.
Again, we're going down a side trail here. And obviously, Yeah, jail is what it is.
Anything else?
No.
Anything else?
Not from the state judge.
Right. The issue on bond is dealt out clearly under Article 17.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The rules for setting amount of bond shall be sufficient to give reasonable assurance that the undertaking will be complied with, that is, appearance in court. The nature of the offense and the circumstances under which the offense are committed are to be considered, including whether the offense involved violence as defined in Article 17.03 of 03 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. That the grand jury has rendered in true bill states that you drove by and videoed the residence of the complainant, and your conduct would cause a reasonable person to be placed in fear of bodily injury or death and feel harassed, annoyed, alarmed, abused, tormented, embarrassed, or offended. Also, that you knowingly engaged in conduct, namely a text stating the defendant would assault the complainant, and that would cause a reasonable person to fear. There's a probable cause affidavit that is applied in this case that the court is going to call Court's Exhibit 1 for the purpose of this hearing.
Should include in the record, you know?
Sorry?
It's included in the record.
There it is. Yes, it will be part of the record, the probable cause affidavit, which and the court has highlighted the portions that the court feels are relevant in this hearing. That on August 8th, 2023, the complainant receives a text message from the defendant that he knew where she lived and has homies that live 2 doors down who are watching her. Now, it also states that the defendant has video recorded the complainant's house and passes by, ensuring that she knows he is here. He is there. In this video, the defendant is driving a moving truck and states, "You think I'm crazy now? Y'all going to see how big my balls are. If you keep my kids from me, you put yourself between me and my kids. I'm going to stop your face in, homie. Watch." Now, this video, do you have a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay.
I've given you the discovery, released it to you, right? Whatever reason, we shall not those for new record. Yes, it's.
Well, the probable cause affidavit certainly is more than concerning. It's very threatening, and we are on an issue apparently where these two have children together, and there's obviously emotion here involved. But the grand jury has reviewed this case and indicted you for the 3rd-degree felony of stalking. Thus, there are marching orders that are normal and customary for this type of offense. Your bond is at $100,000. I'm going to reduce it to $75,000 because this court is not aware of criminal history.
There's been arrests, but no convictions.
Convictions are what are the key here. I can also, as a condition of a bond, under Article 17.46 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure for a bond involving stalking, you, or if you post a bond, you shall not communicate with the victim, go near the victim's house or workplace, nor go near a school or daycare facility where the victim's children attend until this gets resolved. Also, you must have a GPS device that shows where you are at all times. And you shall not go near the victim or the children unless the other courts have reviewed this case and deemed that visitation is necessarily ordered. Until this case gets resolved, what we have to do is freeze the action to ensure that further harm does not occur and wrongdoing, additional wrongdoing is not added to this case. You're looking at up to 10 years in prison right now. Do you understand? On this charge. So that is serious. What other conditions of probation of bond would be necessary?
Based upon the discovery, the state would ask for a drug patch. And what I mean by that, Your Honor,
It says that he failed a drug test. What was, did not pass a court-ordered drug screening. What was that?
they took a hair analysis, Judge, which my understanding.
Why was that done?
It's part of the court proceedings that were ongoing in the 88th District Court there in Hardin County.
Oh, okay.
The result shows that he was positive for cocaine, positive for oxycodone, positive for THC. So based upon those results, I would ask that there be a drug patch additionally as a condition of bond.
Like, and again, Your Honor, that's an additional expense, so perhaps the court could drop the bond a little bit more if we're gonna have a drug patch as well.
Well, I've read, you've read it. You've got a copy of the indictment.
I'm familiar.
The probable cause affidavit. You've got a copy of that. If you don't, I've got a copy for you. So we've got to, these are most serious accusations, most serious. And we're not just talking about the mother of the children, but children are necessarily involved here. You're their father, right? I'm a father. I can't imagine putting my children into a position where they're afraid, or in an environment like this where their mother feels threatened. It's for you to fix. You got a mess here. You got to figure out. But what we got to do is ensure that harm is not done from here on. But these are quite serious accusations, and what we're trying to do is to separate everybody until we can resolve this under the rules of law as soon as we can do it. And that means everybody's going to move to the corners until we can resolve this as soon as we can.
We set it for announcement.
What you want to announce now?
I'd like to really have an opportunity.
How much time? 3 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll reset 3 weeks announcement.
Okay. We can make it.
Yeah, drug patch and GPS device. Sir, if you happen to post a bond, or get a bond posted, you understand how important those rules are.